Hello! Welcome to the Nowman Show. I am Nowman, the superhero of the present moment. What is now? Well, according to the Nowman manual, now is what is the focus of our attention in the present moment. There really isn't past because it seems to be gone, and there really isn't future because that's speculation at this point. Even when we think about the past and plan for the future, it doesn't change the present moment. Now, it's time to have fun with Nowman at the world-famous Doodah Parade in Pasadena. Hello, this is Nowman, and I am at the 2014 Doodah Parade in East Pasadena. Crazy as ever, and remember, let's check it out right now. Uncle Fester is in the festive mode, right? So are you a celebrator of the Festivus or of Christmas?
The Fester Claus.
The Festa Claus, I like that.
The Festival of Christmas.
The Festival of Christmas. Whoa!
That's a lot of things. The Doodah thing.
It's always good to see you.
Oh, anytime now, man.
Take care.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Likewise.
What do y'all want for nothing? You can get a raw tortilla.
Right, exactly. Now the Blues Brothers don't have rubber biscuits, but you can get a tortilla all over the...
God, they're everywhere.
Plenty of tortillas. Woohoo! Democracy now.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
I'm the bad guy side.
Oh.
Campus free.
No. Democracy now.
Freedom now!
Hong Kong, freedom now.
Hong Kong, human rights now!
Hong Kong, human rights now.
Make a new connection. Buy the whole election. Make a nice transition.
Buy a politician.
Make a new connection.
Buy the whole election.
Make when you don't vote, we vote. When you stay in, we win. When you don't vote, we vote. When you stay in, we win. All right.
You know, I am Nowman. All that exists is the present moment. Middle class is practically non-existent, and you know what?
We did it.
We are the majority.
We win.
We are the majority,
Huzzah.
and we can't afford you guys anymore. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, good
Wait till
luck
the
with
crash
that.
happens.
Good luck with that.
Wait till the crash happens, my friend.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And you'll be saying, Nowman was right. And the Doodah Parade also has circus freaks. Here we have the bearded ladies. Hello, ladies. I am Nowman. All that exists is right now. That's right. And wow. So the circus let you off today, right? Is that what happened?
That's one day. Everybody gets a day off.
That's right, that's right. Well, you've been to the parade much more than this, aren't you telling me, decades?
Yeah, well, if you count them all, it's like that. But for today, it's that.
Today it's that, yes. We do need peace and we do need love and we need this guy.
Yeah.
All the time.
The one.
Yeah.
Hey, next year, the one.
The one, there you go. Former queen of the Doodah Parade.
All right.
How are you?
Of course I'm right. Hey!
Nowman.
This guy's coming up with a new action all the time. This is action, man. Over here. Hey, you got too many freaking cameras, man. What do you got? You got any upskirts in there? What do you get some upskirts?
Bars trophy. Let's see what this is about. You rent this thing out? Oh, wow, of course, right? Oh, this is awesome. I am Nowman. All that exists is right now. And this is what you call this amazing experience that you guys are like so. It's like very existential. It's like existential. I am Nowman. All that exists is right now. Stay tall and strong. I will. I don't know where he is. You don't know where the butler is.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He left you.
Oh my goodness.
He left you.
We've gotten the worst table service here.
Oh, you really?
This is the worst restaurant I've eaten at.
Well, when you keep moving, it makes it a little bit difficult.
It's like when you move your funds around. It makes it difficult for people, you know? You don't move things. Well, once again, here is the privilege, you know, right in the streets of Pasadena. They don't hide anything anymore. It's just like, they're always on the move. But we are here and now. Well, I just saw something that we can't film. I've never seen at the Doodah Parade before, but an actual woman nursing her infant baby.
Oh?
Yes. But we can't show you that on this show. But I can tell you that I saw it just now.
I've been walking the streets of Pasadena. I saw the caravan of the Doodah. And all around me, the people was marching. The Doodah was making you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the Doodah Island. From Pasadena to Altadena. This land was made for you.
Aha!
Hey, Count Smokula is here.
Nudity.
That's right.
And
How are you? Good to see you,
Naked
Count.
man. Naked
That's
man.
right. You're very patriotic today. That's kind of unusual.
no, I'm always patriotic, but now I'm ecological.
I love it. That's great. You have to be.
I'm a lean, mean, green machine.
In the right way.
That's right. Because when you eat your vegetables, it makes you feel so good. You can look like the movie stars that live in Hollywood. When you eat your vegetables, you get the vitamins. So come on, have some vegetables. It is not a sin.
So are you, what is your title? You're not Carrot Top, are you?
I'm the other Carrot Top.
You're the other
real
carrot Top. The real carrot.
Oh, this way. Here we go.
There we go. This is Queen Nariana.
Here you go.
Yeah, that's right. At Doodah 2014.
Now.
Now. It is so good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you.
This is Sunshine.
Picture over here with the hot tub.
That's it.
Right here.
I'm here with
People in the
Sunshine.
tub. Hi. Yes.
From Cooking Divas.
Real Divas Cook.
Love Divas.
Watch us, Cooking with the Crown City Divas, and he was a guest on our show.
That's right.
Nowman, the one and only.
Oh yeah!
You know how we do it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, baby, do that thing. Do that thing. Bye. Happy Doodah Day.
Likewise, happy Doodah.
Thank you.
We're coming to the end of another Doodah Parade, and this is Nowman. And always remember, all that exists is right now!
The past is gone, the future is yet to come, it's now, right now. The present is here, the future is near, but it's right now, you know.
Hello, this is Nice Wander. And now it's time for the sustainability segment. What is sustainability? It is the potential for long-term maintenance of well-being, which has ecological, economic, political, and cultural dimensions. Sustainability requires the reconciliation of environmental, social equity, and economic demands. It is the action of the ongoing sustenance of life. I interviewed Karney Hatch, who is the director of the documentary on global urban farming called Plant This Movie. The interview took place at the Acme Comedy Theater in Hollywood as part of the New Urbanism Film Festival. Hello, this is Nice Wander, and I'm at the Acme Comedy Theater in Hollywood with director and co-producer Karney Hatch. Tell us about your film, Karney.
Sure. So I basically got the idea for this film back in about 2010 when I was living in Los Angeles, and I grew up on a farm in Idaho, and so I became aware of the water issues here in Los Angeles, where we steal a lot of our water from the Owens Valley and from other places, other states. And so then when you drive around Beverly Hills or you drive around nicer neighborhoods in any part of LA, you see all these huge green lawns. So as somebody who grew up on a farm, I just looked at that situation and I said, why are we wasting all this water that we're stealing from farmers in other states to grow something that you can't even eat? So that was kind of the initial impetus for the film. And then it kind of struck me that there were several other documentaries that were either out there or were being produced at that time that were about Detroit or different aspects of urban agriculture in America, but nobody had really looked at what was going on around the world. So then that's when I decided to make a movie about urban farming, not just here in the US, but also in Cuba and India and Africa and China and kind of all over the world to show the younger generation of folks who are out there. There's a lot of 20-something people who have great college educations who are entering urban farming as a career now, but I'm not sure all of them have a real sense of the international story that's out there and the history, the larger history of urban farming. So that's kind of how it all came about, doing what I did in Plant This Movie.
Now there's a lot of different ways that you can do urban farming. I know you mentioned lawns. There's also rooftop. There's windows. There's parks like Battery Park in New York.
Mm-hmm.
There's urban farms or community gardens,
Mm-hmm.
like in places that are called eco villages. We have one here in Los Angeles.
Right.
There's something I'm sure I'm missing on that list.
Okay. No, I mean, so are you asking me like what did I see as I went around the world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's every environment, every city has different laws, every city has different constraints in terms of, if you're in downtown New York City in Manhattan, the price of land is so incredibly high that there's no way you're just going to use a vacant lot or whatever, like you can in Detroit or the East Bay or someplace like that. So I think that's one of the things that I definitely wanted to show people is that regardless of where you're living or what your circumstances are, that there is some way that you can get involved in urban farming, whether it's through like an amazing project like Window Farms that Britta Riley founded, where even if you're living in an apartment in Manhattan or Tokyo or Shanghai, you can find a way to grow even a little bit of your own food, which is going to change your outlook in terms of your connection to the food supply and really make you think about sustainability and environmentalism on a whole different level. So I think that that's definitely one of the messages of the film, is that regardless of where you are or what your circumstances are, that you can find a way to do it.
And it's also not a new concept either. It's been around for a long time. When would you say that it was first introduced?
So, I mean, there's people who try to talk about like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon or things like that. For me, I think when I was doing my research before I started filming, I felt like Asia, especially China, is a place that it's been going on for a very, very long time. So, and you can kind of see that reflected in the culture there. It's a lot of people who practice urban farming in China are retirees. They're people who were possibly forced into retirement because there's so many young people in China who are coming up. Like in Shanghai, you have to retire when you're 55, and you've got 20, 30 years left of good work in you. And so a lot of those people are getting involved in urban farming, and it's just such a natural part of the culture there that it's not like, what are you doing? What's this weird thing that you're doing on the roof or whatever? It's just like every spare piece of land in Shanghai is being used by a farmer growing something. So it's just a completely natural part of life there, which is, ideally where we'd like to get it here too, that it's just a completely normal part of life that, retired people and young people and everybody is involved on some level, whether they're buying produce from a local urban farmer or whether their kids are involved in it or when they retire they do that or whatever. We need to get more and more people involved in it so that it's just a regular part of our culture too.
And like you had mentioned earlier, I have family members that were farmers, even in Switzerland, and friends of the family. So I grew up in more rural areas, so we saw obviously the farm process and what happens there. A lot of these kids growing up in the cities, they have no idea when they go into the grocery store, where this stuff comes from and how it's done. So urban farming is another way to educate a new generation of people on something that really was missed, after World War II. And it's really great that you showcase that in the film.
Yeah. No, I mean, kids today, Daryl Hannah, who ended up narrating the film, she mentioned this concept of a nature deficit disorder, where kids today who are growing up, they have hardly any contact with living plants or the wilderness or anything like that. And so urban farming is a way, and all the different projects that I visited that involved young people, it was just always so inspiring to see how little kids' faces would light up when they were working with vegetables and eating some of the things that they had grown. It's just, I think it's really, really important that we do that because we are, people in urban areas in the U.S. and around the world today are just so separate from the wilderness or plants or anything like that, that it's really important that we try to meet that goal. And yeah, like you mentioned, 40 or 50 years ago during World War II, it was, and especially before that, that was really kind of a dividing line, like the 1950s, when food completely changed and the grocery stores on every corner started to appear and everything. So yeah, it's really time that we start out a new generation of people who have that knowledge again and have that contact again, so that we don't, completely lose it.
Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to?
I mean, I think one of the messages that I'm really trying to get out with this film is that there's a couple different models of how you can pursue urban farming. And one that we've been doing a lot in the last 15 or 20 years here in the U.S. is the nonprofit model, which is community gardening and school gardens and things like that, where you get a grant and you start a project. Maybe the grant runs out or the founder of the project moves on and then the project kind of fades away. But there's another model that's used a lot more in the rest of the world, especially in the developing world, but in England and other places as well, which is the model of for-profit projects. So I'm really trying to get people to think about the fact that if we can get people making a living from urban farming, which there's lots of people who actually do that, make a good living from it, that way it's not going to just die out. And Christensen in the film talks about this too, which is just that, movements die out, but if you make something a business that's part of, the economic system of a society, then it's not just going to die out and disappear when it kind of becomes less of a fad or whatever. If all these 20-something guys and gals who are doing this now, if their kids grow up and oh wow, my mom and dad make a living from being urban farmers and helping their community, and they have such an awesome community, maybe I'll do that too. That's what we need is people making a living from it, so that it's really part of our society.
And getting the message out.
And when you're in a place like LA, it seems like a very high mountain to climb. But if you're in a place like Detroit or New Orleans or Portland, where there's actually a lot of urban farming going on, you can actually kind of see down the tunnel a little bit. You can see the tipping point barely starting to happen. And so that's really the goal for a lot of folks that are involved in this movement, like I am, which is to get to that tipping point where it's just oh, you know what? More people are actually shopping at their local farm than are shopping at Walmart or whatever. And And there's some people who've done some really interesting research that shows that tipping point is actually a lot lower than you might expect, because within the capitalist system, if you can start to undermine their profit motive a little bit, they kind of collapse away, and then the new stuff grows up underneath. And so that's another message, is that the tipping point is not as far away as you might think.
Well, thank you very much, Karney.
Yeah,
Karney
thanks for having
Hatch.
me. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Hello, this is Nice Wander, and I am here with comedian Joe Liu. How you doing, Joe?
Oh. I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me out to the nice, sunny Southern California, Pasadena. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We are spoiled here, aren't we?
Hell yeah, we are. Too spoiled. Shh, don't tell anybody. Don't tell those New Yorkers and Canadians that they're going to hate us.
Unless they live here, of
Yeah.
course. Joe, you're a funny guy. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm actually a refugee from the Vietnam War. My family came here after the war. I came here when I was 3. I'm Chinese Vietnamese. And the thing sucks about it is that since we are refugees, the government just put us straight in Los Angeles in an all Hispanic neighborhood. So I grew up around a lot of Latinos, and even today, my best friends are like cholos and all.
You went to UCLA, right?
Yes, I did. I graduated there in 2000, and that was when I was enlightened. It's just, I know you guys, you know what is the UCLA stands for? You see lots of Asians. That's like a tech shop and a barber shop every corner.
So you were obviously a military man too. You joined the Army?
Yes, I did. When I was growing up, I was always being picked on. So I decided, you know what? What can I do to assimilate to this society? So the best way to be Americanized is to join the United States Army, and that's what I did. I joined as an E1, which is a private. That's like at the bottom. That's the guy with the toothbrush. The guy that cleans the toilet and on his knees doing guard duty. And then I figured, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So the only way is to get a degree. So I got out, went to UCLA, and they came back as an officer so I could tell other idiots to get on their knees with a toothbrush.
So now you're doing comedy. When did you start doing that?
I started doing comedy in the Great Depression. Not Great Depression, the Great Recession. See, nobody's perfect.
It's the same thing.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, your whole life you've been chasing money. Like, I want to do something that I really like in life. That is not about the money or whatever. It's about doing what you do best. I like to talk to people. I just love it when people laugh, because when you laugh, I know that you live another 5 seconds, because you actually work your muscles. Your heart beats faster, you know?
Yes.
So keep on laughing so you can live up to 100 years, Daniel.
That's right. It's a total release, right? Your body needs that emotional release.
Yes, and I think people nowadays don't laugh enough.
Lighten up.
Lighten up. Just be yourself.
What would you like to leave the audience with?
I want to say that if you have to think out of the box. So I believe if you want to make it, that you have to invent something that is different. Do it with a passion. Think out of the box. Watch Joe Liu and check out the Nowman show. How about that? We're thinking out of the box.
That's right. That sounds great. Thank you, Joe. This is Nice Wonder, and you're watching the Nowman show. Joe Liu, U.S. Comedy. Hello, this is Nice Wander, and I'm with Karney Hatch, the director and co-producer of Plant This Movie. Karney.
Yes.
I think we need a new renaissance. What do you recommend that we do together to help make the world a better place?
So, predictably, because my movie's about urban farming, I'm going to say, urban agriculture. Because the thing about urban farming, and the reason that I think it can be part of that new renaissance, is that it's kind of a sneaky way, like to get people to form a community that cares about sustainability and environmentalism. So in other words, you tell people, oh, we're just going to start this little neighborhood project and we're all going to get together and grow some of our own food. But what that ends up doing is it forms really tight bonds between all the community members that are involved in that project. And so it really is kind of a backdoor way of kind of, again, tricking people in a good way into forming a really strong community, and a community that's making the world a better place rather than doing harm to the community and to the world. So,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Nowman, and I am here with Count Smokula. And
Is this yours?
what is it? Rumpole. Okay. I have a question for you guys.
Yes,
Okay. I think we need a new renaissance. What do you recommend that we do to help make the world a better place?
You gotta dig up Leonardo da Vinci, take some of his DNA and clone him.
That's an idea.
Yeah, he made things fly and made pictures.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
I think all you need is a wand and just wave a wand and everything will make everything better.
What will make everything better?
A wand, yeah, just one of these.
A wand?
Yeah, just
Okay.
wave a wand and everything will be better.
I see, I see.
Better.
Isn't that what they do in Washington? They just kind of wave a wand and things just keep as business as usual?
I think they wave a swizzle stick.
The swizzle stick is what
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need.
The past is gone, the future is yet to come, it's now, right now. The present is here, the future is near, but it's right now. You know, being with you makes the party complete, so keep the body moving and show us your happy feet. At the end of the night, when all is said and done, I wanna know I did the right thing and had a lot of fun, and I say